Urgent real-time Bitcoin and crypto and stock markets and everything forecast. What's going to happen next is going to shock you. And it's going to be very painful if you're not prepared. It's going to be very enriching and ecstaticfying if you are prepared. I guess I'll first tell you what's going to happen. Everything looks like it's going to pump one last time before market opens on Monday. When market opens on Monday, we might not dump immediately. We might start dumping Tuesday or Wednesday, but we will start dumping really, really hard. It's going to be the worst recession depression you have ever seen in your lifetime, unless you were born in 1914 and you actually saw the 1928 depression. If you lived through the 1930s, then what you're about to see next will seem about the same. Actually, no, the 1930s might actually be better than what's about to happen to the rest of the world. Look at it this way. Turkey, Argentina, Venezuela, and what other countries? Even the Ukraine kind of. Oh, and Wuhan and all of China. Think of those places as dress rehearsals. If you were Mark Zuckerberg's boss, whoever that is, the Rothschild and the if you were these people and you were going to make everybody fall into a Great Depression, you wouldn't just do it all of a sudden and say, hey, we did it once in 1930, let's do it again. No, what you would do is you would try it. You would try it once in Turkey, you would try it, test run Argentina, test run Venezuela, test run a pandemic in a little town called Wuhan in China. Let's just do a couple different test runs and see if everybody obeys and just shuts up and stays in their apartments, and they do. Hell, let's roll it out, guys. Let's roll it out nationwide. That's what's going to happen starting next week. But crypto looks like it wants to pump right now. Let me see if it did or didn't. It's still kind of sitting there. Crypto wants to pump. So, but here's the big picture right now. On-chain research says that an analysis says we have the highest amount of open interest ever since FTX was shut down for about a year. The highest number of Ethereum and Bitcoin addresses are now in profit over the last, year and a half, I think it just said? Let me see what it says. 16 months. No, that's futures. Open and supply. 1 year. 1 year. For a year, the highest amount of on-chain addresses are actually in profit. So whenever this sort of, and Monday, we're going to start having to pay taxes. Monday is tax day in America and in several different countries around the world. So isn't that super, super bearish? Wouldn't everybody have to sell and wouldn't whales sell? I mean, think about this. If you were a whale and you're thinking, hey Chad, when should we sell? Oh, I don't know. Let's just sell when we hit an all-time high for something. Like what? Like all-time high in price. Yeah, but all-time high in price is like $60,000 per Bitcoin. We're only at 30,000. We're only halfway there, so we can't sell yet. Well, what other metrics are there? Well, let's sell everything when there's an all-time high, at least a yearly high of open interest, of number of people actually in profit. When there's tons of people in profit, when there's tons of people using high leverage, that's probably a pretty high liquid time to get out, is what you'd expect these whales to do. But the charts, right, and that is right now, by the way, that is right now. But the charts say we're going to pump one more time, at least one more time. So what's going to happen? Well, I already told you. Next week, all the stock markets are going to die, and you're going to have to start making some bathtub gin. You're going to have to start selling. You know what would be great is to sell actually, I can't say that, can I? All the stuff that I can't say. I wonder if it's toxic. Like, is it caustic to your skin? Because I have sensitive skin. I don't want to be cooking this stuff up and then have rashes and allergies. And you guys be like, well, how come Bitcoin Fund Manager looks weird and he has red spots? But that's what you're going to have to do starting next week. You're going to have to do, because you're going to be out of a job. Microsoft fired everybody. McDonald's fired everybody. Apple fired everybody. Twitter really, really fired everybody. Google fired everybody. Facebook fired everybody. Everybody's being fired. Oh, JP Morgan fired everybody. And McDonald's, I mentioned them, right? McDonald's fired everybody. Guess who else? McDonald's. They fired everybody. All these banks are firing everybody. You're not going to have a job. The only way you're going to make money is either stand in the soup line, which won't be soup, it'll be bugs, or you can trade with us. Oh, on that note, Future Coin you're going to want to buy. You're going to want to buy a lot of Future Coin, because Future Coin is specifically designed to actually make money. It's anti-artificial intelligence and it's anti-recession. Those two things. What could you possibly do in a recession that's anti-artificial intelligence and that makes money? If you think about it, it'll come to you. It'll come to you. What could you possibly do that's this, that, and this, and makes money, and then part of the proceeds go to buying back the coin. There's buybacks, like, and then there's actual public people buying the coin so that they can use these services or products or whatever it is. So I'm just going to leave that as a question mark for you. Anyway, it's the only thing that's designed to be bullish in a recession and a depression and a world where artificial intelligence just does everything for you. It will do everything for you except what Future Coin's projects will do. So that's one thing you can do. Another thing you can do is, I'm going to turn this way so that I can see. Yeah, we're going to pump. So weird though. So what does that mean? Does that mean we're going to pump and then fake out? If you look at the charts right now, what we do have is a rising wedge. We have a very, very clean, perfect rising wedge on both total market cap and Ethereum. On Bitcoin, it just looks funny. There's no real geometric that I can tell you about on Bitcoin. It's just a thing that's just globbing, pumping upwards. But Ethereum and total market cap, yes, they're traditionally very bearish patterns. But since we've got a completed potential running wedge, if you don't know what a running wedge is, it's a rising wedge it's a triangle that goes up, except it taps the top line, it taps the resistance line, it goes tick, 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 perfectly. Normally, wedges, what they do is when they're like this and they're going to dump, it'll go tick, tick, and then not tick. It just doesn't have enough money to hit this thing. 1, 2, 3, and it dumps. But this thing is doing this. It's doing this. It's going tick, 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 pew, and it's actually broken through. That only happened, the last time that happened consistently was in 2017 in December, when Bitcoin hit $20,000 for the first time. Actually, I think it happened when Bitcoin was $7,000, and then when Bitcoin was $17,000, no, $13,000, and then also when Bitcoin was, I think $17,000, yeah, $7,013 and $7,000. There were running wedges where everyone said, well, TA is useless because rising wedge is bullish. You remember that when everyone said rising wedges are bullish? Head and shoulders are bullish, because every time there was a head and shoulders, what would happen is there'd be a tiny little dip across the neckline, and go boink, 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 doop, and then poof, go all the way, just reverse. Literally just reversed in 2017, December. Is that going to happen? I don't think so. I really don't think so. But I can only tell you, I can only foresee, I can only see the future up to so far. There's only, I can see the future in chunks. There's this clarity here, and then there's a bunch of amorphous gray, dark, black, non-transparent areas, and then there's little specks of clarity that I can see. And what's happening is that we're at least going to pump a little bit. How much is a little bit? $2,200 per Ethereum. Right around there. $2,200 per Ethereum is right around our current target. Is it going to continue pumping? Now here's the funny part about that. I'll give you the scenario within which it can. I don't think it will. Unless this happens. Okay? And this part is what happens to Ethereum after we break past $2,100, and inch towards $2,200 becomes hazy. It becomes non-transparent. So this is what could happen. We hit $2,200, and there's no. This is the bullish case. There's no blow off top. There's no insta dump like December or January 2017. There's no insta dump, and it kind of just sits there and literally just turns into a bull flag or something, or a bullish pennant or something. And everyone sits there going, that's really weird. What the hell is going on? What could be happening, literally what could be happening, is that the central bank digital currencies could actually be rolling out like right now. They could literally be rolling out with all the central bankers telling all the bank managers to sign NDAs and don't say anything, shut the F up and don't tell anybody. And so with CBDCs coming out, and with the American dollar being worth dirt shit squat, because China is making direct trade deals with Russia. China's making direct trade deals with Venezuela. China's making direct trade deals with all sorts of South American countries, Central American countries, and African countries. And actually starting to make, China made a deal, direct non-US dollar deal with, what European country was it? Was it Sweden or something, or was it France? I was shocked. I don't remember the name, but when China and Russia leave out the United States and just goes directly to all sorts of other countries and says, hey, let's just deal in our own country currency. What do you think will happen to the US dollar? The US dollar value will just go and continue to dump really, really hard because no one's using it. No one wants it. So the US dollar is going to be sold back to the US government. US government, well, don't they issue treasury bonds? Yeah, T-bills look like they're also going to collapse and die. But if that happens, won't stocks go up? No, because artificial intelligence has chewed all that up and made it so that no companies can survive and be profitable, and you don't have any money anyway because the US dollar is worth nothing. So if you're in a Western country, including Spain, including England, Australia, New Zealand, America, Canada, your dollar's worth nothing and your stock's worth nothing. Is that possible? I thought when the dollar went up, stocks went down, and when the stocks went up, that's true if the dollar retains its value. If the dollar doesn't retain its value, then everything comes crashing down. It's kind of like, hey, I'm in a boat, and I thought if a wave comes in and raises my boat, then my boat goes up. But and then I thought that if the wave goes out and it's low tide, then my boat goes down. Isn't that what happens? Yeah, that's the case. Unless the entire ocean gets drained by some huge hole in the middle of the earth that just sucks the water out of the Pacific Ocean and goes and just extinguishes the core of the earth. If the entire ocean dries up, whether waves happen or not doesn't really matter. It's a macro event. That could be happening. If it does happen, we're going to know right around $2,200 on Ethereum. Will that happen at some point? Probably that will happen at some point. And if that does happen, then the US dollar dies and the stock market dies and everything dies, then the rule of yin yang says that whenever there's a new strong thing, yang, then there's always a yin that ends up bonding with it. So if the US dollar, let's say, dies and the Chinese yuan becomes really strong, or central bank CBDCs, digital currencies, become really strong, that's not the only thing that's going to be really, really strong. There's going to be a yin that just goes blink, and that yin is going to be crypto. That's what the law of yin yang says. There's always going to be a competitor, like Nike, Reebok, BMW, Mercedes-Benz, Ferrari, Lamborghini. There's always a yin to a yang, always. Male to female, lemon to orange, I don't know, apple to pear. There's always something. That's just how human society works and the human psyche works. Is that going to happen this week? Is that going to happen right now when I pumped a little bit and then dipped? Could it be happening right now? I mean, I wish I had more fundamental details. I wish I had more strategic data. All I have is theory, conjecture, and anecdotal data, and I do have charts. And the charts tell me that something weird is going on besides just Shapella or the Shanghai upgrade. Something weird is going on, and it's probably related to either the Chinese yuan cutting out the US dollar or central bank digital currencies. It's hard to say right now, for sure. Especially since Bitcoin looks like it's stronger than Ethereum right now. If Bitcoin's stronger than Ethereum, when everything should be dumping, remember, because tomorrow is tax day. And most people have to pay taxes by selling their stocks and selling crypto. Which means everything should have crashed already on Friday, but it didn't. So there's tons of mixed messages right now. The only thing that's clear is that we want to pump to around $2,200 right now. Will it continue? Will it even pump to $2,200? We might fake out. We really might fake out because of all the other fundamental issues I've talked to you about. Yeah, but it doesn't look like it yet. If it does fake out, what I'll do is I normally only tell people at bitcoin-signals.org, but this one is a big enough move to where if you follow me on Twitter, then I'll publicly tell you on Twitter. And that's OTC_Bitcoin. Let's make it out of this alive, and let's make it out of this much, much richer than you are now. For the exact precise trades that we're going to take, you do have to join bitcoin-signals.org. We're going to do longs and shorts at high leverage with certain targets and all that. I give that data only to our bitcoin-signals.org members. But yeah, buy future coin. Hold on to that for a while because it's literally designed, if what I said is true and the whole world just dumps into a huge depression where everyone does have to eat, you own nothing and you'll be happy, and everyone does have to eat bugs, people holding future coin, what can I tell you, that's copacetic legally, might actually do really well because it's designed for a situation like that. Get rich, guys.